Hi, welcome to the channel, Luminousz Ztarr. All of you who are current subscribers, thank you so much for being my stars. Thank you for motivating me to keep this channel, Luminousz Ztarr, active. All of you who are visiting for the first time, you already know what it is. Hit that subscription button below. Become a part of the Star family. Thank you so much for your time, and I wish everybody the very best. Today's video is the female narcissist's dysfunctional behavior in romantic relationships. Of course, I'm going to be going over a few points as well as a few tools. Please mind the description box below for further details such as the references and resources. First point, there are many women who have daddy issues which stem from their childhood. If those issues remain unresolved, she will more than likely continue to repeat certain romantic relationship mistakes that will keep her far from obtaining intimacy in romantic relationships. Next point. The female narcissist is no exception to this dynamic. However, her daddy issues are more complex due to either one or both parents being narcissists, or she has vowed to never love because her parents, particularly her father, did not provide her the loving validation she desired and needed as a little girl. Therefore, her issues remain unresolved. Next point. Due to choosing to unconsciously reenact her unresolved childhood trauma and or painful daddy issues, the female narcissist often seeks source supply from romantic partners who remind her of the first man who broke her heart, which is her father. Pause. So many female narcissists, actually many females in general, but we're just talking about the female narcissists here. They usually seek men or partners who have similar traits or remind her of her father. So what happens when she becomes romantically involved? The female narcissist will emotionally bully the partner into complying to play her daddy or her father. In other words, the romantic partner will play a very dysfunctional role as the female narcissist reenacts her childhood trauma or unresolved painful issues, her painful daddy issues. That part actually isn't her fault. What's sad is that the female narcissist now as an adult, she's still emotionally a little girl. Why is that? Because she's still seeking the validation and the love and approval from her father, the first man who broke her heart. So that's one of the reasons for her reenacting the childhood trauma and the unresolved issues. This is not the partner's fault. So the female narcissist unconsciously reenacts her unresolved childhood trauma and or her painful daddy issues while emotionally bullying her romantic partners to play the role of daddy. Okay, so either way you look at it is pretty sad. However, it's not the fault of the romantic partner. Really want to make that clear. It is not his or her fault that the female narcissist has the daddy issues that go unresolved or the childhood trauma that goes unresolved. Let's move on. It is possible that she has secretly vowed revenge or payback against her narcissistic parents, particularly her father. Her romantic partners will end up complying to play dysfunctional roles in order for her to reenact her unresolved childhood trauma. Next point. The female narcissist has not been taught, particularly by her father, what the nature of men are and the characteristics of men in general who represent balance, stability, and overall health. A part of the tragedy is that the female narcissist has not been taught not only who men generally are in his stable and or balanced state, she has not been taught how to attract and be attractive to such men. She hasn't been taught by her father what a real man is. Number two, the female narcissist has not been taught how to attract or be appealing to such a man who would make her a great partner. Let's move forward. The female narcissist has been taught, however, to become self-destructive, displaying one who has a primarily predatory nature. She can be seductive and seem nourishing. However, this is part of the grooming process of targeted prey. Somehow she will seem insincere to those who are genuine. Pause. That last sentence, I think, is the highlightable sentence in this point. Because the female narcissist can fool some of the people some of the time. But you got it. She cannot fool all the people all the time. Somehow she will seem insincere to those who are 100. Okay, so the people who are real, the realist, will see right through the female narcissist. The female narcissist is one who is self-destructive, no doubt. So she will demonstrate one who has a predatory nature, or primarily a predatory nature, because sometimes she will put on the charm and she will be very seductive. And when it comes to children, she will seem nourishing. She will seem to be the motherly type. This is a grooming process for the targeted prey who may be a child or who may be a romantic partner or potential romantic partner, or even a spouse, someone that she may be already involved with. This again is part of the grooming process. She's not sincere. So she is not sincerely or genuinely nourishing. Now, to a child or an adult who may be a targeted prey, if they are genuine or if they are 100, they'll see right through it. All right, so let's move on. Unfortunately, those who may seek to devalue the female narcissist, or any other woman for that matter, will seek out her vulnerabilities in attempts to capitalize from it. This is a sign of those with a predatory nature, a negative agenda, and possibly a cluster B personality or narcissistic personality. Pause. So, the female narcissist may come across someone who will see certain vulnerabilities or weaknesses in her. However, this person is a person who may have a predatory nature, a negative agenda, or seeking to capitalize from her weaknesses. The female narcissist is not immune to meeting her male counterpart or her match. She will usually choose to conspire for source supply with such men, but she is less likely to become romantically involved with them due to this type of man being her competition for potential source supply, depending upon the circumstances. Pause. So the female narcissist, just like any other female, she can meet her match. Absolutely. Okay? She's not immune to that. Here's what's interesting. If the female narcissist meets her match, whether it's male or female, and there's maybe a potential for romantic involvement, what's going to happen is that this female narcissist will probably choose not to become romantically involved with this female or male who is her match. Instead, she will choose to conspire with him or her for source supply. What's that saying? If you can't beat them, join them. Okay, there's power in numbers, so on and so forth. The female narcissist has this type of mindset. So instead of becoming romantically involved with him or her from a genuine place, the female narcissist, should she meet her match, she is more than likely to conspire with him or her for source supply. Her match usually is competition for potential source supply. So depending upon the circumstances, she will choose to conspire with her match rather than becoming romantically involved. Example, she meets her match and there's competition for potential supply. She will conspire with that person. So they will both get source supply, but of course a little bit more for her than the competition. Let's move forward. Characteristics of female narcissists. She can be very dominating. She will seek to emasculate. She can be extremely competitive, very materialistic. In other words, love money, and probably will not be very frugal. She will probably spend, and spend. All right. So she tends to be very materialistic. and usually shows no remorse if all of her spending results in debt. Very interesting the female narcissist can be when it comes to money. Thinks that she is more special than anyone. Obsessed with appearance. She can be histrionic. Pause. I want to go to obsessed with appearance. There are many female narcissists who are so obsessed with their appearance that they will have plastic surgery after plastic surgery. You ever seen those females who look like Barbie dolls, yet they don't look natural? They have the breast done. They have the derriere done, or the backside, or the butt. They have all of that stuff done, yet they can't seem to stop. And they are totally convinced that it looks very good, or it really improves her looks. So female narcissists are obsessed when it comes to their physicality or their physical appearance. They don't really care about their inner beauty, if there is any, for that matter. Let's move forward. Characteristics of narcissistic female offenders. Number 1, loss of spouse due to death or divorce. History of drug or alcohol abuse. Low self-esteem. Absence of mother and or father during childhood. Feelings of alienation and isolation. Compulsive sexual activity. Sexual victimization as a little girl. And I want to encourage you to go ahead and do some research on this. Tool number 1, take steps to discontinue enabling female narcissists by using tactics such as the silent treatment, sulking, being reactionary, and avoidance of any relationship challenges. Effective communication demonstrates personal boundaries, practice, which female narcissists tend to not do. Pause. Female narcissists do not practice or believe in personal boundaries. So effective communication is something, believe it or not, she will not really value. A lot of females out there really value effective communication when it comes to their personal relationships. However, this particular female, which is a female narcissist, does not place high value on effective communication because she does not practice personal boundaries. She's more of a reactionary person. So if she can get you to be reactionary, she feeds off of your energy field. So try not to enable her by becoming reactionary yourself. Another way of enabling the female narcissist is to go into the silent treatment. You are enabling her to continue to act as she does because you're going into the silent treatment. And if you sulk, same thing. All of this enables, not discourages. It enables the female narcissist. And if you avoid any of the relationship challenges, because it kind of goes into the silent treatment, the sulking and being reactionary. So every relationship, even the best relationships, has challenges. However, when it comes to the female narcissist, if you use tactics such as silent treatment, sulking, being reactionary, so with the female narcissist, what will enable her or encourage her to keep on behaving as she does is tactics such as the silent treatment, sulking, being reactionary, and avoidance. See, all of this will encourage her to continue to do what she's doing. She will see no reason to change because she's not being challenged. When it comes to the female narcissist, she's not practicing personal boundaries. She doesn't believe in it. She doesn't have any values when it comes to personal boundaries. She lacks principles as well. So when you practice effective communication, you are practicing personal boundaries. Female narcissists do not practice personal boundaries. So they don't effectively communicate. They're trying to get you to be reactionary because they are reactionary. Once you are reactionary, the female narcissist will feed off of your energy field. Emotions are energy in motion. So if you're going off or being reactionary, see, she's going to feed off of your energy field. If you use the silent treatment, Silence to the female narcissist means agreement. That's what that means. If you're sulking, that means that you have been defeated. I know that's probably a terrible analogy, but stick with me here. Picture someone in the corner slumping. They're sulking. They've been defeated. So when you are sulking, in the eyes of the female narcissist, she has defeated you. Why encourage her or enable her in that way? Why do that? Okay? So being reactionary, again, is acting out. So if you are being reactionary, that means that you're not taking responsibility for your own emotions. The female narcissist, again, will feel and see that you have been defeated by her. So she will feel like she has dominated you because you're going off. In her mind, she is able to push your buttons. In other words, she's able to control you, like taking a remote control, pointing it to the television, and pressing any button she pleases, and something will happen. So if you're reactionary, you are unconsciously enabling the female narcissist. And when you avoid, again, she may look at that as you're being silent. You are in agreement. Okay? And again, going right back to her feeling and thinking and looking at you as a person that she has defeated and dominated. So avoidance doesn't work either. Next tool, demonstrate who you are without apology by your emotional, spiritual, psychological, and mental growth. Your life has purpose. Pause. So yes, instead of arguing back and forth and being reactionary, demonstrate who you are without apologizing for it. This leaves the female narcissist no place to go. Trust and believe that. Okay? You don't have to trust and believe me. Just try it out. So demonstrate who you are without apology by your emotional, spiritual, psychological, and mental growth. Basically, your overall growth. Just demonstrate who you are because your life does have purpose. Don't apologize for it. Defend and honor it without apology. Next tool, remember that it is not your fault for the emotional condition that the female narcissist may be in. It may be a game changer, choosing not to attempt to become a father figure to the female narcissist. Pause. I don't mean to make this sound cruel. No male on this planet, no male can replace her original father, whether she has known him or not. Now, there are wonderful men on this planet that can be a father figure to any female. He cannot replace her original father, even if she never knew her original father. Okay? So it may be a game changer not to attempt to become a father figure to the female narcissist. Instead, demonstrate who you are without apology. So even if this is not a romantic situation, this is one of the best ways to demonstrate to any female narcissist that all men on this planet are not someone that's going to be out to hurt her or who has hurt her. The female narcissist is a wounded little girl in a woman's body. Okay? So it may be best not to attempt to even become a father figure to her at all. Just demonstrate who you are without apology. Believe it or not, that is the best thing. That is the best gift that you can give any female for that matter, yet alone the female narcissist, without trying to figure her out. Okay, let's move forward. Questions. Question number 1. Do you often have thoughts and desires of rescuing, saving, or changing the female narcissist? Question number 2. Are there particular words and or actions that the female narcissist says or does that influences certain emotions such as anger in you? Third question. What is the purpose of your relationship with the female narcissist? Once you've answered this question, you are less likely to repeat this scenario again with any future romantic interest. Last and final question. What are narcissists and one with a cluster personality according to the DSM-5? References and resources. Please check out in the description box below the references and resources. Now I want to say something about the questions I just went over. Question number 1, do you often have thoughts and desires of rescuing, saving, or changing the female narcissist? Well, having a strong sense of obligation and or responsibility is understandable, especially if children are involved in your romance with the female narcissist. When it comes to attempting to try to change anyone, that's just something that a lot of us are not going to be able to do. That is to change someone else. So it's best to just go ahead and accept that this person is who they are and do what you can for the children. Question number 2. Are there particular words and or actions that the female narcissist says or does that influences certain emotions, such as anger in you? If this occurs regularly, clarify your intentions by defining your definition of love and relationships. It's amazing how a lot of us don't have the same definition of love or relationships that our partners do. So there's 2 people romantically involved, yet they don't share the same values. And their definition of love and relationships are so different that they don't really relate to each other. They really don't have resonance with one another, yet they're romantically involved and wondering why there's so much chaos and drama in the relationship. More than likely, it's because it's 2 people who are romantically involved that lack resonance with one another. It's not that they hate each other. It's just that they lack resonance. And their values are so different from one another that they're naturally going to grow in different directions. Separation is an illusion. These 2 people or these partners, they're going to naturally grow in different directions. The 3rd question, what is the purpose of the relationship with the female narcissist? Yeah, so once you answer that question, you are less likely to repeat the scenario that is very painful again with any future partner. When people answer that question, what is the purpose of this relationship? It gives them a very clear perspective. What is the purpose of the relationship with the female narcissist? Once you answer that question, it's a game changer. 4th question, what are narcissists and one with a cluster B personality according to the DSM-5? A lot of us are mislabeling other people that we've had difficulties with. Now, the reason for their so-called bad behavior may not have anything to do with a person who has a narcissistic personality or a cluster B personality. May I suggest just looking at the DSM-5 and finding out what narcissists are and what a cluster B personality is and comparing it with your personal experiences with the female narcissist. You may find that it's quite different. In other words, her behavior may not be because she has a cluster B personality or a narcissistic personality. It may be something else. Either way, it's not your fault. All right? And having said all that, I want to go ahead and thank everybody for joining me today. I'm Luminousz Ztarr. Stay tuned for more videos.